with this crazy situation with a player for the Alabama Crimson Tide
Yes.
that was granted eligibility, shoehorned into eligibility
Yes.
by an Alabama circuit court judge
Correct.
who donates or has donated what, over $100,000 to the University of none other than Alabama. And this so happens to be right before the Tennessee game, right before Tennessee basketball comes to town. And he grants eligibility to a player who literally just played in the NBA G League, which is essentially NBA minor league, last weekend. Austin, talk us through this absolute insanity.
Yeah, I mean it really starts with the James Najee situation at Baylor. The NCAA granted James Najee of Baylor, who was the 31st overall draft pick in, I believe, the 2021 NBA draft, and they granted him eligibility because he had never played college basketball, and he never technically played in the NBA. Although he played in the G League, he also played in the Summer League, which is basically the rookie league for NBA players. Um, so they grant him eligibility, and this was for all international players. This, I believe, one other player, I think for Louisville, has already played under the same eligibility ruling from the NCAA, directly from the NCAA. Well, then Charles Bediako for Alabama, who played at Alabama for 2 seasons before declaring for the NBA draft, going undrafted, and as Blake said, played 3 years in the G League, decides to sue the NCAA based on the fact that, hey, I'm a G League player who played 3 years in the G League, but also, I didn't finish my college eligibility. I should also get eligibility. The problem was he was a domestic player, Blake, and he had already played in college. This is the first ever college player who left college voluntarily, declared for the NBA draft, and has come back to college. Okay. The NCAA denied him eligibility and he sued. Well, this is where that Alabama circuit court judge comes into play, Blake, which, is obviously very corrupt. This Alabama circuit court judge basically stuffed the NCAA in a locker and said, "Hey, I'm giving Bediako immediate eligibility. Plus, guess what, NCAA? You can't give sanctions to Alabama. You can't even think about imposing sanctions to Alabama, Blake. You can't imply it, you can't hit at it, and you can't impose sanctions against the University of Alabama." And I'm sitting here thinking, oh, okay, so this means that the NCAA has lost all power when it comes to enforcing their eligibility rules. They cannot do it. When a circuit court judge in Alabama, Blake, I mean, we're talking, this isn't the Supreme Court, like, this is a circuit, this is one of the lowest ranking judges in this country, just told the NCAA that, hey, you can't do anything about this. You can't threaten Alabama and you can't threaten Bediako. And he's getting immediate eligibility to play, like you said, a week after being on a G League roster, Blake, and plays against us. This is on the heels of the Alabama head coach criticizing the James Najee situation and saying, hey, it's taking an opportunity away from a high school player. What are we doing? We're taking an opportunity away from a high school player, yet when it benefits him, Blake, he says, well, you know what? We could use a center. We could use a center who's 23 years
Yeah.
old and has developed amongst G League players for the last 3 seasons. Keep in mind, people, the G League is just not good enough to go to the NBA. Like, it's not, this isn't the local YMCA team, Blake. It's not. It's the NBA G League, like you said, it's much like minor league baseball that feeds right into the NBA. It works differently, but that's essentially what this is. And he played there and developed there for 3 years amongst grown men, Blake. And I mean, he's 23 at this point. And after voluntarily giving up eligibility, he is granted by this circuit court judge who nobody knows and apparently is a donor to the University of Alabama, granted immediate eligibility. So at this point, what do we do? Like, what is stopping us, Tennessee, from going saying, hey, Don't connect. You want to come back? Like, it's just one step up.
Yeah,
Like, at some point, the slippery slope isn't a fallacy, it's a reality, Blake. And that's what happened, right? The
exactly.
James Najee situation happens. Well, it's just international play. It's just international G League players that never played in college. But just a couple weeks later, we have former college players coming back to college
Yeah.
basketball after playing the G. So what's say us to go get Don't Connect? He's not playing significant minutes right now for the Lakers. He's not playing significant minute. I mean, it's just one step up. Like, we're not getting a G leaguer,
Yes.
we're getting an NBA guy, but hey, it's just one step up. Let's go get Don't Connect, Blake.
Well, it's still within the NBA structure as well, right? It's the
Yeah.
NBA G League. And so you're absolutely right. It just continues down that slippery slope. And it's absolutely insane, man. And again, poetic justice, as Rhonda says in the chat here, he did lose. And so we're about to cover the game in earnest. But man, it's just like what, like you said, what are we doing?
I
What are
know,
we
man.
doing, man? I
That's
mean,
crazy.
you've got and it's also Austin. It's literally he was in the G League for 3 years, and he played college basketball before. So
Yes.
essentially, what you're saying is hey, man, you're basically like. Granted, he's obviously like you said, he's just outside of being good enough to be in the NBA, but eh, you're essentially a jobless bum. Okay. So you're playing for the G League. Hey, come on back to college. Why not? What college sports is not about college anymore anyway. So let's just bring in anyone. Bring in whoever we want. It doesn't matter where they're doing, what they're playing. Bring them back in. I mean,
As long as they have college
what are you
eligibility,
doing?
Blake.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and like, what are we doing? Like you said, I mean, mostly, especially in basketball, these guys who go to the draft very rarely finish their degrees or, very rarely do a full how many ever years.
Yep.
So I just, look, man, you were mentioning to me before the show, it's like some people are like, okay, is freaking Congress going to have to step in to
That's
enforce
dude.
these rules for NCAA?
That's what the NC no, Blake. That's what the NCAA. That's not like random people. The
Yes. Yes.
NCAA spokesperson on the issue said, "Congress, please come help us. We can't do anything." And when you say that, when you come out and you're begging Congress publicly to enforce your eligibility rules, I'm sitting back saying, "Why are you here? What are you
Yeah.
doing? What value are you bringing at the current if you can't even enforce your own rules, a circuit court judge just stuffed you in a locker by the way, there's no checks and balances because the guy's a donor of Alabama. So it's like,
Exactly.
what value are you bringing to the table right now? And Blake, it killed me. So after the ruling or whatever, and after the news broke, because the big news that broke, like that he was going to play, and he did play. He played yesterday against us. Well, after the news broke, and whoever, some media member, asking Nate Oates, the Alabama head basketball coach, about this, he's like, "Man, my hands are tied. We're just gonna follow the court ruling." Yeah, bro,
Shut up.
what?
Shut up.
What, dude?
Shut up.
That is the most insane thing. Oh, you're just gonna follow the court ruling? Like, your hands are tied. Oh, we gotta play him, man. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
The circuit court judge who just gave us $100,000 last year just told us that we gotta play the guy. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, our hands are tied. Like, dude, get out of here, bro. Like, you were obviously a key component in all of this taking place. You just coached the guy 3 years ago, and you were obviously like, you didn't have to play. You could have played him 0 minutes. You could have told him, "Hey, no,
Yep.
sorry, dude." You could have just not told him he can be on the team. Like, obviously, that's just the most ridiculous thing ever. What a huge hypocrite. What an absolute joker, man. Like,
Yes.
it just amazes me, these guys who are adding these, like, you just lost all integrity and respect. Like, what happens when finally someone with actual power in this sport comes up and says, "You can't do that anymore"? Well, now you don't even have your competitive advantage, and you just lost everyone's respect, Blake.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I don't respect Alabama coaches anyway, but it's like exactly. the hypocrisy of criticizing the previous situation and then sitting here and taking this
Immediately.
clear corruption again from
Clear.
this judge. I
Clear.
mean, come on.
It's
It's an
obvious.
Alabama judge who donates to the university and grants again. I just can't get over the hilariousness of, oh, it's an immediate
Yeah,
restraining order,
yeah, dude.
Austin.
Yeah,
Immediate restraining
immediate.
order, which
Immediate.
before the like official ruling, right? So it's like essentially it's kind of like what Joey Aguilar was seeking, right? Was like
Yes.
an injunction, right, before the actual official ruling. Well, this Alabama judge grants an
Within the
immediate
week.
restraining order to this guy, to Bediako, right before the Tennessee game. Right
Give me a
before the Tennessee
break.
game.
Give me a break, dude.
Mind blowing.
Like
Gi-
it's
Give
did
me an
they
actual
even
break.
have the ruling? Did they even go to court? What did they even get on a Zoom call? Or was this all just paperwork? Did he have his secretary just fill out the because that's my question. Like, did it even exist? Like, because they're like, oh,
Well, Austin,
we ruled on it.
he couldn't have gone to court if he's playing in the G League, brother. He just came from a G League game,
That's
so of course he wasn't going
exactly,
to
dude.
court
He just
appearance.
got off the plane for the G League game, which maybe they don't even take planes to those games. He probably rode a bus over to Alabama. Who knows, dude? But at the end of the day, I mean, when did you even have time to have the ruling? Like all these things
Yeah,
take forever.
exactly.
That's the funny thing. You bring up Joey. Remember, all of that happened during the offseason, and it's taking months and months to do. This guy, well, shoot, I mean, just got on a phone, Zoom call or even a phone call or maybe a text message, or maybe none of it ever happened in the first place. Maybe Nate Oates just called the court office for a favor. I mean, that's what it sounds. It sounds like Nate Oates called the court office. Hey, man, like we got this guy.
Yeah,
Just tell the NCAA they can't do anything about it. Like, just grant him some more eligibility if you don't mind.
just slide it in there. No big deal. You know, it's fine.